We just had a big cold spell here where it got down to around 4 or 5 degrees, and I would have bet $100 that them cows would have died during that spell. I got up and come out here. The first thing I do is come out here and look around and see if I could see them somewhere dead. It quit raining here in like June. It didn't rain again till November, and our hay was very poor quality. It looked like to me it probably had about 2 or 3% protein. I didn't get it checked, but it looked pretty poor. I was thinking I got to do something to try to get the protein levels up. So we went into the winter with poor cows and poor quality hay, and that just wasn't a good scenario. And a friend of mine, Larry Fink here, told me about this Riomax, so I decided I'd try it. But I'm gonna say within 3 weeks, I could already see a difference in the amount of hay they were eating. I'd come back and there'd be some hay left, and I'd just skip a day. And then after about probably, I want to say maybe 2 weeks, we started feeding one 4x5 bale every other day. I didn't feed them anything yesterday, and they looked pretty content today when I got here. So I can definitely see a difference. Pull in there with a tractor with the hay on it, you know, I can cut the strings off the bales and stuff without them all pushing and shoving and knocking me around. But they don't even come up here around the tractor, really. They're pretty content. For a guy like me that buys most of his hay and has to have it trucked in, and I've got pastures 1.5 miles, 2 miles apart, and I have to feed on this tractor, it saves me having a lot of labor and time having to go from one place to the next. If I can skip one day somewhere, that's a big labor savings for me. At one point here, I was feeding about $25 worth of cubes a day. Actually, I don't feed them any cubes at all anymore since I've been getting this Riomax. You know, $25 a day times 30 days a month, that's a pretty big bill. I feel like I'm getting a lot of savings out of it. If you consider the hay and the cubes, it's definitely paying for itself. If we have one of these spells where it's raining and cold, you know, for about a week or so, it's not uncommon to lose one to something like pneumonia or something like that during the winter. This is the first year I can remember, probably in my lifetime, that we didn't lose any. And the only thing that's different this year is in the past is I'm using Riomax this year, and I had never used it before. And I had several cows that were old cows that we just kept because they do have a calf every year, and I kept them. But I didn't really think they'd make it through the winter, and they're still here, out here right now. I could see something definitely helped them get through the winter, and it sure wasn't this hay. And like I said, I wasn't feeding any supplements, range cubes, or anything like that. You know, right now, at current cattle prices, if you lose one, it's maybe $1,200-1,300. If we saved one of them cows, the Riomax was worth it. I've noticed that these calves that we're having, they just seem spry and full of life. I didn't really put a whole lot of thought into it till their last day or two, and I thought, well, you know, maybe that Riomax has got something to do with that. Their mamas are healthier. I'm telling you, within, I want to say, a 2-week-old baby calves, I've seen them lined up around this tub over here eating this stuff. So that's got to help as far as their immune system goes and so forth, I would think. Well, yeah, Larry told me what a price that tub was going to cost, and I trusted his judgment on it. It's hard to convince a guy right up front, you know, as far as the price of it. You have to kind of sit down and show him, here's what you're going to be saving. You're saving on hay, you're saving on labor, doing away with the threat when you put out these cubes of getting knocked down and hurt. Your calves are more spry, seem like they're more energetic. You got old cows that you brought through the winter that, you know, you didn't think would come through the winter. It's really a no-brainer.